Hello, I'm Dr. Wendy Rowley, and this is the 8th episode of The Human Potential. Welcome, and I hope you're enjoying the series. My work's a little far out because I use the spiritual anatomy to and describe it based on working with it and healing through it and seeing it in others and clients. And I use it as a metaphor to help you see your amazing divinity within you and your connection to your soul, your higher self. Higher self is like your earth incarnation. Soul is like everything you've ever experienced they say since you left that spark of the divine, we're as a created soul, consciousness, and or whatever, we don't know, who knows. And so it can be techie and your mind can go, but the general journey through each episode kind of gives you a flavor and an understanding of not only what's sort of percolating on the earth, but the energies that are coming up, the opportunities for incredible healing, and sometimes some little tools or sound alignments or things that you can use to calm yourself and to get centered and to get into what is called coherence, when your respiration and your heart are in sync and you go into maybe an alpha state, or your brain waves calm, your emotions calm. You probably get off that vasovagal nerve, which is very much related to some of the subconscious, and the sympathetic nervous system, that fight or flight, and you calm, the nerves calm, things calm down. And so we try to give little tools and tips and things to help you. Sometimes life is messy and you just need to go for a run or break a flower pot. Just get that anger out, hopefully quiet or in the woods or somewhere where you're not making other people sort of startled by that charge coming out. And hopefully you don't take it out on others, but things are percolating up, and higher self, now we're finding out, is starting to percolate in some of the higher energies of these changes and connections that are being made so that we can do this profound healing work of our human consciousness grid. And so as the energy rises up, things percolate to the surface. So I'm going to get out of the way. Let's see what Eliane has to say for the human potential this day. And please like, subscribe, and comment. I'm just checking my sound, my volumes, because the worst thing of all is to do something live with spirit and forget to record or turn on the video or whatever, because it never quite can be repeated with the same beauty and grace as that original message. I have learned that from experience. Okay, I'll see you on the other side. Oh, and for those of you who are new, sorry, I'm a channeler. I'm a healer. I'm a naturopathic medical doctor who became a naturopathic doctor so I could stand here and go, woo-woo. I'm just saying all this woo-woo energy stuff because I've studied it. I've looked at the human body and the physiology. I've gone to basically a regular medical school. We have all the same classes. Instead of drugs and surgery, we learn natural therapies, but we take all the same sciences. And I don't mean to be crude, but I did my anatomy on a cadaver for a year. It was the real thing. So I just wanted you to know that in case you're new to the work. I'm trying to bring my work together with the body and the spirit and merge it so that you can see how magnificent you are and do this juicy work for the Great Global Healing Party beginning in January 2022 through 26 of 2024. And most likely it'll still be ongoing if you come to this episode in my YouTube channel and it's dated back. You'll still probably most likely see the Great Global Healing Party ongoing. Okay. Oh, dearest beings of light, this is Eliane of Cosmic Service, Pleiadian Mother of Sound. That's a good thing to do once in a while, to re-give her history and what she's doing for those who might just tune in out of nowhere. So I'm going to do mine. I'm Eliane of Cosmic Service, a Pleiadian Mother of Sound. This one is someone we have worked with for a long, long time. She is what's called a grid healer and a light worker. And she has some abilities that make her able to do this work, which is healing at the soul group level. So we come forward at this time in the shift change time of a planetary system, as we call it. You call it the great evolution, the great shift. Something's happening. We all know it. We don't know what. They say it's the middle of the change point of a planetary system. The Mayan calendar ended, la, la, la. And we show up in the beginning, the middle, and the end. We show up in the beginning. We lay the grids. We laid the Christ grid. We laid the soul mastery grid, as we call it. We laid the Christ interim grid, as you call it, which we call the soul creational grid. And we laid the human consciousness grid, as well as many, many, many others that you will use in the future. So we worked with groups of souls that came in to do that, like this one, and they're around and they know who they are. And especially since more of this talk is sort of forward on the web. And then we come now so that we can assist in the clearing of the human consciousness grid, because you take out the old and in comes the new. And there are many people who have brought forward that information about the nodes and nulls and the time capsules, as people call them. We call them the planetary engine, and we call you planetary soul group engines, because you actually do this work at a soul group level. And so we call it a planetary engine, for it takes out old information and brings in new. And that's part of the system. And then the time capsules, as some people call them, we call our galactic records. And those are laid at a very high level on the human consciousness grid in the interim Christ grid, which has a layer that overlaps onto the human crystalline grid. This one's starting to see that there's these overlaps now between these grids very high up. And so we have all of our inventions, all the things that we did, all of our solutions from energy work at the spirit body level, all the way through to mechanical inventions and things, and working with a planetary system with resources and continuous energy and a lot of things. And so that information can get percolated in. Now, this would happen anyway, but there is setups that are put in place. As we said in another video, there's a fast track system that Supreme Being has for every kind of energy shift that a soul group or an individual soul goes through. And you can go through it through life. You can go through it through a system of healing, or you can go through it through a fast track system of healing. And Supreme Being always puts the fast track as his choice. And so this cleaning of the grid is like a planetary fast track healing system to take the charges out of your old grid. And as this one knows, you can't bring in something new of soul if there's no space for something new. So you have to take something old out. So to create a space for something new to percolate in this engine of that turns and moves itself. So our information can start to percolate over the human consciousness grid and percolate down for new invention solutions as you continue on your journey in your planetary evolutionary process. So we come now, and we come at the end to help you gather up. And at that point, you're very advanced. You're millions of years in the future. You're an enlightened planet. And there's a way that you all take all of your grids up of your experiences from this point forward. You don't do the messy part of getting to this point where you all say, let's change, let's evolve, let's become an enlightened planet. And so it's from here forward, whatever you create for millions of years. And you gather that up and you take that to a new planetary system like we did. And you evolve to a higher level of soul creating at a galactic level. And this is true and real, as strange as that may seem. So that's who we are. What we'd like to talk about today, and not keep this too long, is that the higher self is indeed now percolating in those energies from the high soul group, higher self, spirit body on the human consciousness grid. And if you haven't watched past videos, we've said you all share a group spirit body at the higher self level on the human consciousness grid. There's another one in the interim Christ grid, or the interim soul mastery grid, which has a gateway to the field. And there's another one out in the field. And then you also have your master grid. So you can think of the master grid as the way in, with all of your wisdom and knowledge as a soul on the planet. Then you go into forgetfulness. And then when you leave the planet, you go back out through that grid. But for now, in creating, you go out to the field where you all have a third higher self soul group spirit body. And these three spirit bodies create your evolutionary process of your physical form, of your abilities on the earth, and your ability to work with earth forces and so many other things. So all three of these spirit bodies have gotten increased connections all the way out to the periphery of the planet, at the higher chakras of the planet. We say between the Earth and the galactic band, there's a space there. This one at some point will end up telling her story because it's very profound, because it's like the body has the same energy systems you all do individually on some level. So anyway, that's another day. And so the three spirit bodies and the periphery of the planet have had these upgrades for this healing fast track system that we are hearing the majority of spirit-based people, prayer people, people all over the world are saying it's time for change. On some level, they know it's changing. And this one has even seen now in researching her speakers to catch up where she's been out of the loop for 15 years to prepare for her work, that there is people who are saying that this is a possibility, that we can change our consciousness. And they know of this periphery around the planet of your group consciousness of tribes and nations. So this is coming together in a very interesting way, where you now have some science that can prove some of this stuff and will further prove some of this stuff. And there's an invention coming at the end of 2025 that'll very quickly get percolated out into the field of people who are interested in this work, because it is the step they're needing. And when they add that to their systems, there will be a way to show a group of humans on the earth an intention and the effect out in the field, in the greater field, what people call the noosphere, named by Teilhard de Chardin, a Jesuit priest long ago. There's many names for that. The collective consciousness at the periphery of the planet, a lot of names. But anyway, we just wanted you to know, for those who are in that field, there is something coming that will put your system together. And this is purposeful. And this one already knows why that has to happen and has foreseen that. Not how it happens, but she knows that this research is meant to join together. And others are starting to have the same aha. And one in particular definitely saw it. All right. So this is what we wished you to know this day, that you are dearly loved and that there is a benevolent energy coming in through your higher self, that you can ask your higher self to send you. That's all you do in the morning, in your meditation, tuning to the divine, find the God within, grounded to earth, up to the cosmic, but in your body, present in the now, and say, higher self, will you percolate the higher forces of benevolence to me now? Percolate those to me in my day. And the thing that's funny about asking spirit is you have to do it every day, because you sleep at night and it's almost like you break a little connection because you go off and do other things. That's a whole nother subject to talk about, what happens when you sleep. And we will do that at some point, maybe if we get there. But anyway, so we are making this as a suggestion, and see if you don't start to feel a subtle, subtle, subtle difference through your day. You are dearly loved. Expect benevolence in all you do, and we bid you adieu. Okay, let me just let that realignment happen for me. And there we are. Okay. Thank you for listening. I hope you're finding this inspiring. I hope you are inspired to try some of these things. Different tools work for different people. And if you go out on the web, there's people percolating all sorts of tools. So if these don't work for you, don't give up. There's other tools for other people are bringing forward to help you maintain your space and your balance and your heart-centered approach to other humans and your situations in your life. I'll see you on the next session of episode 9 of the Human Potential. And this is the end of episode 8. Thanks. Bye.